Germany's defense minister wants smaller ships for the German Navy rather than the planned world's largest frigate. Germany's entire railway network came to a halt due to a problem with the communications system, leaving thousands of passengers stranded. The V4 countries of Czechia, Poland, Slovakia and Hungary renewed their commitment as Hungarian Prime Minister Peter Magyar hosts its leaders.
Bundeswehr Catalunya increased the immense pressure on Pedro Sanchez on Wednesday, demanding that he resigns as Prime Minister and that Congress elect a new head of government to preserve the legislature. The sharp demand from the Catalan separatists came during a high-stakes debate over the legal cases affecting the president's inner circle, completely reshaping the political landscape. Sanchez appeared before a tense Congress of Deputies on Wednesday to make his defense against a wave of corruption allegations. The high-stakes appearance followed a landmark Supreme Court ruling that handed a 24-year prison sentence to his former transport minister, José Luis Ábalos. Sanchez opened his 32-minute address by acknowledging that the national public debate has been completely flooded with judicial news, though he rejected claims of structural wrongdoing.
Porque conviene saber que detrás de este cúmulo de titulares, de filtraciones, de especulaciones, hay tres cuestiones distintas, tres cuestiones de naturaleza y de escala diferentes, que, por cierto, determinados actores políticos y mediáticos están tratando de mezclar para equiparar y con ello confundir a la gente, crear una sensación de corrupción generalizada que, ya les digo, señorías, no existe.
Addressing the influence peddling cases involving his brother David and his wife Begona Gomez, who was recently ordered to face trial and surrender her passport, Sanchez claimed the judicial files are built entirely on unfounded accusations and a coordinated pattern of personal harassment. However, conservative opposition leader Alberto Núñez Feijóo framed the prime minister as the absolute epicenter of what he termed a corrupting political nexus. You bear all the political responsibility, Feijóo said, reminding that Sanchez initially rose to power in 2018 on an anti-corruption platform spearheaded by the now convicted Ábalos. The opposition leader declared he would table an immediate motion of no confidence.
Germany's entire railway network came to a halt on Tuesday due to a problem with a communication system. The disruption left thousands of passengers stranded across the country. Trains were held at stations while travelers stood in long lines at information desks as they tried to figure out how to get to their next destinations.
We came here, and as soon as we came, we saw a bunch of unhappy faces, and no one was speaking English. And on the sign, it said something completely in Deutsch.
No information. They are just saying like, "Oh, please, you have to wait." But we are still here waiting.
After nearly 2.5 hours after it first reported the outage, the main national railway operator Deutsche Bahn said the problem had been resolved. The company said there had been a nationwide problem with its communication system, which is used for internal communication on the railway network. As compensation, Deutsche Bahn said during the outage that it was giving taxi and hotel vouchers to passengers.
The V4 is back, said Hungarian Prime Minister Peter Magyar as he began his press conference following the group's summit in Budapest with a quote from the Polish leader's remarks last week in Brussels. The alliance, which is celebrating its 35th anniversary in 2026 but has weakened in recent years, will now gain new strength as the leaders of Czechia, Poland, Slovakia and Hungary renewed their commitment.
Kiemelten foglalkoztunk az Unió következő 7 éves költségvetésével. Egyetértettünk abban, hogy a kohéziós politika, a közös agrárpolitika továbbra is meghatározó eszközei az európai politikának, a regionális fejlődésnek. Egyetértünk abban, hogy olyan költségvetésre van szükség, amely támogatja a növekedést, a beruházásokat és az infrastruktúra fejlesztést, a versenyképességet.
Slovakia will take over the presidency of the Visegrád Group from Hungary in July.
Boli sme veľmi silní. Chceme byť opäť veľmi silní. 4 krajiny, ktoré tvoria V4, musia mať takúto ambíciu. Slovenské predsedníctvo prichádza v náročných časoch. A možno neformálne stretnutie, ktoré sme mali pred plenárnym zasadnutím, ukázalo.
It was also mentioned at the press conference that Peter Magyar and Robert Fico did not reach any agreement regarding the Benes decrees, a matter they deferred for discussion during private bilateral meetings.
A magyar kormányfő hangsúlyozta, ha jól végzik munkájukat, később majd úgy fognak erre az időszakra visszaemlékezni, mint amikor a térség országai felismerték erejüket és közösen alakították Európa jövőjét. Kónya Rita, Euronews, Gödöllő.
Iran has emerged in a stronger position from the war against the US and Israel, former US Deputy Secretary of State Wendy Sherman told Euronews. The seasoned diplomat who led the team that negotiated the 2015 nuclear deal with Iran criticized the reported cost of the framework agreement linked to reopening the Strait of Hormuz.
Iran has certainly put itself in a stronger position. They can close the Strait of Hormuz at any point that they want. They have shown that they are resilient, that a military effort alone cannot undo them.
US and Iran are in dispute over whether Tehran had agreed to allow these inspections of its nuclear sites. The head of the UN's nuclear agency said Wednesday that his inspectors would visit them.
If the IAEA, the International Atomic Energy Agency, gets back into Iran, even though Iran says that is not agreed, that would be a very positive thing, because you can't do anything in the negotiations or anything that you resolve without knowing that you can verify and monitor what the reality is. And we need the IAEA on the ground to be able to do that.
Sherman also warned that Iran could emerge with greater influence in Lebanon and across the region, complicating wider efforts to secure stability.
The final two groups, K and L, went out onto the pitch late on Tuesday and into the early hours of Wednesday to play their second matchday fixtures of the 2026 FIFA World Cup group stage. Veteran Portuguese forward Cristiano Ronaldo led his team to a stunning 5-0 thrashing of Uzbekistan, scoring a brace himself after a disappointing 1-1 tie with DR Congo in their campaign opener. Ronaldo scored in the 6th minute and then again in the 39th, and he also had a chance early in the second half and once more late into stoppage time to snatch a hat-trick, but failed to convert. PSG star Nuno Mendes scored with a brilliantly struck free kick, and AC Milan forward Rafael Leao also added to Portugal's tally with a top left corner strike. Meanwhile, England was stunned by a stubborn Ghana side as they were held to a goalless draw in their second fixture in Boston. The Three Lions failed to convert despite recording 19 shots during the match and maintaining a ball possession percentage of close to 80%. They now face Panama in their next and final group stage match, where they will look to secure their qualification into the elimination rounds. Croatia, who suffered a 4-2 loss to England in their opener, struggled to get past Panama, who held a tight defensive shape most of the game, leaving no gaps to be exploited. Ante Budimir, however, provided the breakthrough after tapping in an exceptional cross into the box into the open net in the 54th minute. The final match saw Colombia scrap to come out with a second win in 2 matches, as they marginally edged past DR Congo with a late goal in the second half by forward Daniel Munoz. They now sit atop Group K, where they're gearing up to play Portugal, who are also vying to secure their ticket to the knockout stages.
There are projects that defy time, and then there is the Sagrada Família. In the heart of Barcelona, Antonio Gaudi's masterpiece is nearing completion after more than 140 years of construction, a miracle that coincides with the centennial of the brilliant architect's death. Using a modular system, a puzzle of stone and steel is assembled, held together by 24 metric tons of adhesive developed by Henkel. Begoña Cantera, the engineer in charge of the project, points out that thanks to this adhesive, construction of the Sagrada Família has been accelerated by about 50 years, a half-century's head start thanks to a resin that absorbs moisture, sea salt and subway vibrations without cracking.
Hemos estado trabajando en el proceso de utilizar un adhesivo para unir el acero, la piedra, en la construcción de los paneles modulares que distribuye Sagrada Família.
Its mystique evokes an interior forest bathed in light from the stained glass windows. The basilica also holds secrets that inspired everyone from the stormtroopers, the imperial soldiers of Star Wars, to Gaudi himself, who is also depicted on the facade. Although he never lived to see his masterpiece completed, he rests in its crypt for eternity. On the Passion facade, you can see an unconventional depiction of Christ, whose head is a book, a gateway to knowledge. After Gaudi's death, a line of architects took up the torch. In recent years, led by Jordi Fauli, they have faced the greatest structural challenge, erecting the central towers. Fauli recalls that the master knew his work would be completed using the technology of the future.
Hemos construido las torres centrales con la técnica que quizá hace 75 años no era posible, pero ahora sí, de tesar, de grandes paneles de piedra tesada con barras de industrial en el interior. Y esta misma técnica la utilizaremos en los campanarios de la fachada de la Gloria y quizá también alguna de las columnas.
Thus, the Tower of Jesus now crowns the sky at 172 meters, making the Basilica the tallest church in the world.
El cielo de Barcelona ya tiene dueño. La Torre de Jesucristo, la más alta de la Sagrada Família, recientemente bendecida por el Papa León XIV en su viaje a España, vigila la ciudad condal. El gran secreto de la torre no es solo la piedra, sino la química. Una innovadora patente de adhesivos Loctite es el enlace molecular que une estas toneladas de estructura. Ingeniería al más alto nivel aplicada al arte de Gaudí. María Muñoz Morillo en Barcelona para Euronews.